Association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press, no matter how they use and abuse it. Now, because they were armed with these freedoms, and only because of that fact, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, many of them rejects from around the world, they and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro show will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so we gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. My Bacardo Jeweler's watch tells me that it is 9:09 a.m., so we're ready for action. We're ready to go. We're going to be a little bit stripped down today. Our new guy, Ben Taylor's on the board, and he's figuring it out. So we're going to go slow and take our time. We got our Johnny Bulldog. We want some prayers for Johnny. He's getting checked out health-wise. We've missed him the last couple of days, and we hope he's back. Now, I don't know if we have it at the moment, but Roach Supply, they bring us your live feed on YouTube. And they are the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania, celebrating 75 years in business. Nonagenarian Ron Roach, my old neighbor, he's still in command. And 2 generations working under him in harmony. And that's why they're in business 75 years, because they're great at what they do. Visit Roach Supply, ROCHE, supply.com today. All right, something's playing there. We'll work it out. All right, so last night, I go down, and our good friend Doc Medic was there as well. It was the Archangels on stage. And this is the gang from Arc, the people we had in here a couple of weeks ago and last year and all that. It was fabulous. I don't have to go to, there was about 1,000 people there, maybe more. All kinds of amazing volunteers. And I will tell you, the could not be a more joyful, there wasn't a more joyful place on earth. You know, they say Disney's the happiest place on earth. No. Not last night. Not last night from about 6 o'clock till about 8 o'clock. And they were fabulous. The show was just well run. Everybody experiencing actual joy for all those hours. It was amazing. It was fun. There's not much you could say other than it was the greatest show on earth. And we're going to talk at about, and we have the live streams working. There we go. But it's safe to say that this gang made everybody's night, and the families that are there, and oh my God, it's just unbelievable. And I can't tell you, I'm telling you, I can't brag about them enough. So Doc and I got to introduce the stars of the show. And then Cutie and my mother came. It was just, I don't know. You can't even describe it. It is something you have to see, and that's why we're going to talk with Jerry Featherby later this morning, later this hour, actually, in order to just recap the evening that was. It was fabulous. So a number of things that we've been working on, we've been talking about. This Ag Blue thing is a big deal. The woman who heads it And let me tell you what Act Blue is. Act Blue is essentially an online fundraising platform. Now, everyone knows, and 99% of the people agree, that foreign money should not be part of our elections. So what Act Blue does is they take money from people online, and what has been discovered is they don't check who they are. They don't check where they live. They don't check anything. They just take the money. Now, that's illegal. And that's why this woman had to take the fifth for virtually every question, including her name yesterday. And this is what the left does. This is what the Democrat Party does. And it's not a small matter. They raised in the 2024 election cycle $3.8 billion for left-wing lunatic causes and left-wing lunatic Democrat candidates. $3.8 billion. That's just one election cycle. So it matters. And how this is policed matters, because there's probably all the countries that seek our demise would give to the Democrats. That's quite obvious. But these things switch. And so there's an Act Red or something, some similar group. They've got to be policed. There's got to be strong rules in place that prevents them and this kind of shenanigans and foreign money from coming in. Before the internet was truly a thing, it was discovered the Clintons had taken millions of dollars from Chinese interests and Chinese representatives illegally. And nothing happened. It just faded away. Oh, they did it, and then went away. Well, this is brought to a whole new level now. And that's on top of all the money that's being stolen from programs that the federal government runs, that states and localities administer, that is being stolen, and some of it, in fact, a lot of it, being sifted back to foreign countries and foreign interests, who then use it against the United States. We're in a crazy place right now. And I've got to tell you, the primary, and this is not because I'm pro-Republican, the primary users of all of this, the primary protectors of the fraud, which brings money to foreign interests, which then they use against us, the primary users of the NGOs and nonprofits, who it's just money laundering. That's all it is to Democrat supporters. That's what it's descended into. So there's a lot of stuff that guys, they are, remember what they say. They say our democracy is at stake. Yeah, you've put it at stake. You've put it at stake in every way, shape, or form. And now, because you are basically the Communist Party, you've become the Communist Party, you have people like Graham Plattner in Maine, a communist Nazi scumbag, is your nominee for U.S. Senate. This is insane. This is where they're going. This is where they're trying to take us. And we've got to fight back. And thank God Trump and his administration are in office, or this would have all been ignored, as it was under Biden. It was not only ignored, it was accelerated. The NGOs and the nonprofits, which in turn support everything the Democrat Party and the establishment wants, more government, more spending, more programs, were stealing the money from even the ridiculous programs that had been announced. USAID, insane. Total insanity. $50-some billion a year. Do you know how much of it got to the sock puppet show in Buenos Aires? like 10%. It was all taken by lawyers, consultants, NGOs, nonprofits. Huge six-figure salaries for the nonprofits and NGOs. Never got to even the ridiculous programs that were proposed, because all you had to do was propose anything. Stacey Abrams in charge of $3 or $4 billion, supposedly for energy-efficient appliances. Our government is now the tail wagging the dog. That's what the Democrats want. That's what the left wants. That's what foreign interests want. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. Ricky Nelson. Murph tells us he had his second number one hit with Travelin' Man on this date, 1961. I love that song. Great song. Somebody's texted in, it's your first hour and you're already in a lather. Well, I should be. And I just want to think of, whenever I get aggravated or irritated today, I'm just going to think of the Archangels and that stage show at Lackawanna College last night. And I'll be fine. I'll bounce right back. But I'm telling you that there has never been one of the reasons it's so dangerous and so insidious is because they're using our money. They're using government spending to undermine the country. That's what the Democrat Party of today stands for. And whether it flows overseas and is laundered and comes back, or whether it's done directly. So, yeah, I am in a lather. I truly am. When you think about this insanity, and we are, and I put that in air quotes, which you can see on the live stream, we are indeed being run by these people. And they want your freedom because then if you have freedom, I want you to just calculate this. If you have freedom to vote and think like you want and all of that, you're not inundated, you're not indoctrinated by the education system, by the media. If you're free to think, you will never go for anything that they're pitching. And they'll be voted out of office. They've got to stop that. So everything they say about Trump and MAGA is about them. That's what they're doing. And by the way, they feel they're entitled to it. They're entitled to run your lives because you are not capable of running your lives. By the way, you look at these, you look at the people protesting outside that trial in Texas, and you realize they are not capable of running their own lives. Amazing. A couple of notes that I made to myself. I watched 60 Minutes, and they did. The show is so awful. It's hard to quantify. By the way, you could reach us by phone or text 570-883-0098, 570-883-0098. But I had the displeasure of watching 60 Minutes, and I try to watch it objectively. So they did a full-throat defense of left-wing lunatic judges. It was absolutely disgusting. They're showing judges citing the Constitution when they rule against Trump. Now, a Trump executive order is undoing a Biden or Obama executive order, and they're saying it's unconstitutional. Just think of it. This is happening over and over and over again. This is part of the enemy. Because they jammed as many left-wing lunatic judges as they could. As many judges who would use their power for their agenda. I want you to think of it. So Biden or Obama passes an executive order. All right, it's in force and effect by law unless overcome by legislation. Now, Trump says, no, we don't want that. And they rule against him. It's literally impossible. It's not only not unconstitutional, as these judges were being allowed to say on the 60 Minutes program. It is obviously unconstitutional what the judge is doing. They're legislating, which they don't have the right to do, so that's unconstitutional. They're saying that This president doesn't have the power to overcome what the previous president says, which is also unconstitutional. Not a question, nothing. And it's total insanity. It's invented outrage. They have another story. Not a word about left-wing violence in the streets. They shot President Trump, killed Charlie Kirk. They committed atrocious acts of violence against law enforcement. But the Democrats and the judges are for the rule of law. That's how this is insanity. And they will. So you've always got to remember, as soon as you identify where the person's coming from, you know they will do the exact opposite of that which is true. 60 Minutes went so far, they threw someone on from the Cato Institute. Now, this is a no government whatever, but it's morphing into something else. Anyway, the Cato administration, or institute, is trying to undermine the Trump administration because they love illegal immigration. They love it. There should be no borders, according to Cato. They're also criticizing the tariffs, which would protect American jobs. So they want unlimited, even illegal, dumped steel and other products into America to destroy American jobs. And 60 Minutes talks to them like they're normal. Not questioning, not querying, nothing. 60 Minutes, I don't know if they're going to get a hold of this show and turn it around. Even after Scott Pelley's been fired for being a complete pompous ass and a lying phony, it's still a horrible show. Not to be trusted. In fact, to be completely distrusted. All right, my Ricardo Jewelers watch tells me it's 9:31, headed to 9:32. That means we're going to hear from our sponsors now. We will come back. We have the Veterans Tribute. We have the weather. And as we always say and always mean, more. Our Veterans Tribute, this day, this hour, as with every day and every hour, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. Basiliga Hospitality is our featured company today because it's the weekend, and they're the best places to go all weekend long. Like the Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Far Street Tavern on Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. The Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. All of them awesome, great food, great fun. And then we go fine dining. Yeah, we step it up a notch beyond anything. Like a Terra 519 downtown Scranton. Oh, like the new executive chef already having his imprint. Awesome. One of the most beautiful restaurants you'll ever walk in. And then there's an old world take with the same beauty, the same elegance, the same amazing dining experience, the Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre. And then if you want nightlife, and I do this often, I combined a Terra 519 and Sergei's and enjoy them both. Yeah, after 10 o'clock, it's for young kids. It's not for me. But I go up and down and love it. Sergei's, the nightclub. Fun, excitement, the whole package with Basiliga Hospitality. William Llewellyn. He was 86. He was from Peckville. He passed June 5th. Born in Peckville, graduate of Blakely High School. He went on to earn his teaching degree at Bloomsburg University and a master's degree at the University of Scranton. For over 30 years, Bill served the Valley View School District, where he taught science, social studies, history, and also served as audiovisual director for much of his time there. He was a devoted member of the Peckville United Methodist Church. He served all of us with a career in the United States Army Reserves. He had a love for cars, especially Corvettes. His pride and joy was his 1968 Stingray, which he referred to as his oldest daughter. Surviving are his daughters, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, and other family members. William Llewellyn. Michael Gilhooly. Yeah, play the music, Ben. Michael Gilhooly. He was 84. He passed on June 5th as well. He was 84. Formerly of Scranton, he's survived by his wife of 60 years, Rosalind Barrett Gilhooly. His family says he was a kind, gentle, and humble man who was always loyal to family and friends. He had incredible strength and determination, even as he faced a difficult illness. He had a wonderful sense of humor. He was a devoted husband for over 60 years and was an understanding, wise, and patient father who was always there to help his family and friends. He was very proud of his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. He attended St. Paul's School and earned an associate's degree from Lackawanna College. He served all of us for 3 years in the U.S. Navy, much of that time aboard the USS Intrepid aircraft carrier, serving on the flight deck. You know the Intrepid. That's the museum on the east side of New York in the New York City harbor. After a lengthy career as an industrial engineer, he went on to serve as manager for the Lackawanna County Housing Authority. I knew Michael. Surviving his 3 children, 8 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren, as well as other family. A great legacy, Michael Gilhooly. Our great veterans this hour, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga, and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group. Hey, let's go right to the forecast. Don't keep running this off. Okay, there we go. Oh, Ben, don't worry about it. You figure it out. Don't you worry. Forecast for Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area, northeast Pennsylvania, brought to you by our great friends at Montage Mountain Resort. The water park, guys, it is open. Did I tell you yesterday was a perfect day? All day? Didn't rain till 7 o'clock. No, later than that even. Today's another great day. And guess what? They've got a good lodge to hang out in if there's a little bit of rain. Today, the weather is partly sunny, hot, very humid. Heavy thunderstorm around this afternoon. Thunderstorms can bring flooding downpours, hail, and damaging winds. High of 90. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 59. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, very warm, less humid. High of 88, low 60. And there's a memorial party for our old friend Chris Kelly, Dunmore guy, great musician. Tomorrow afternoon at St. Anthony's Playground, the weather's going to be perfect. Sunday, remaining very warm with clouds and sun. Thunderstorm in spots late in the afternoon. Storms can bring flooding downpours and localized damaging wind gusts. 88 degrees, low of 55. Monday, not as warm with lower humidity. Sunshine, filtered by passing clouds. High 77, low 53. Tuesday, pleasant with clouds and sun, high 73, low 52. And that's your weather, brought to you by the great gang who, they're running this gorgeous water park right here in city limits, Scranton, at Montage Mountain, where it's 79 degrees right now. Sam Sham and the Pharaohs. Murph tells us this date, 1965, they moved up to number 2 with their hit, Wooly Bully. Bob Cordaro back with you. My man, Mark Mayer. I said East Side for the Intrepid. It's the West Side. And I told him, he says, Mark Mayer says, Pier 86, 46th Street on the Hudson. I said, I've been there 5 times, wise guy. I know it. He says, I'm here to help you. All right. Well, I told you about this deal with the Archangels, the stage show last night at Lackawanna College. Well, on the blower with us right now is Jerry Featherby, who brought the whole gang in, and they were here at all 3 radio stations, and we had a blast with them here. But then last night was the Pièce de Résistance, the 9th annual Archangels on stage. Jerry, welcome to the program. What an amazing job you and the others did to put this program together. It's 2 hours of pure joy. I mean, it's so hard to go anywhere to experience that kind of thing. Oh, yeah. Yes. I'm telling you, everybody had fun. You know, people had tears. I did. I had tears in my eyes all night. It was just fabulous. It was. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, fabulous. I'll tell you what, I was so impressed. I guess they're high school and college kids that were on stage, and we're from where? North Pocono? Where else? Yeah. Oh, how did I not know that? What great kid! Well, and you know this, Jerry. Like when you're young, you have to have a lot of self-confidence to take part in an event like this and to be with these young adults and older adults even. Because, blah, 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 just the peer pressure. And that's what I'm saying. I just felt like not only were they great with everybody, all the Archangels, but they've overcome most likely peer pressure and just did it. Isn't that great? So you now have, you're going into your 10th year. You announced next year's show, which everybody went wild about. And it's going to be essentially a montage of all of the shows that you've already put on. Neat. Well, that documentary would be awesome. I don't know who does the costumes, but they were fabulous. And as soon as you said we're going to do all 10 shows, immediately in my mind I go, how are they going to do the costumes? Oh, absolutely fantastic. I love it. It was great. It was inspiring, and it always is. I thank you and everybody from ARC and all the volunteers for putting that on. You made the world a beautiful place for 2 hours. Thank you. Jerry Featherby, the Archangels on stage. We're heading up to, my Bacardo watch says, the Bloomberg Money Minute, but quickly, I've been reported as an active shooter at Wayne County Courthouse. We'll try to get some updates on that. I'm watching on my monitor. By the way, that's the Birds. Murphs tells us this date, 1965, they moved from number 17 to number 6 with their version of Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan's hit, Mr. Tambourine Man. Bob Cordaro back with you on the eponymous program as we roll up towards the top of the hour. Donald Trump yesterday, he was there with, they did some deregulation for fishermen. Now, here's the things the left and the woke and the stupid idiot Democrats do, and the bureaucrats, all of these people who are our political enemies. There were areas near the coasts of the United States where American fishermen were not allowed to fish. Just think of this. American fishermen were not allowed to fish. But foreigners were. Foreign fishing vessels were allowed to fish there. There's a whole slew of regulations and idiocy that the Trump administration undid. And both through the Commerce Department and the Department of the Interior, he had the whole gang in the Oval Office. But at the beginning of that, he announced, see, this is why I've got to watch Fox News more than any others. At the beginning of that, he announced, it's getting to feel like Lucy in the football with Charlie Brown right now. He announced that they've got a deal with the Iranians. The stock market immediately soared, oil prices immediately dropped, all that. Well, we'll see. That's all I'm going to say. We'll see. See, Mr. President, you oversold how close we were to deals so many times that we think this could just be another one of those. We'll see. I hope he's right. I truly hope he's right. You could reach me, by the way, 570-883-0098. 883-0098. But we're going to see. I'm just of the opinion, having observed the Iranians and their sick, demented death cult that ran that country, that they're not to be negotiated with. There's no point. There's no point negotiating. You just kill them. And I don't take that lightly. I'm not cavalier about that. There is no choice. They are not going to change. Let's hope he's got this nailed down. I don't know. 90 million people, maybe a little less because so many were in on the scam that is the Iranian Revolution. But it's a huge population of people who deserve better. Let's hope we're on track for that. Hey, I mentioned that scary active shooting situation in Honesdale and at the Wayne County Courthouse. Brian Hughes is in the studio to tell me more about it.
Yeah, Bob, I heard something about...
We need a mic here. There you go.
Yeah, Bob, I saw a report about heavy police presence, but it was around a home on Riverside Drive in Honesdale. Nothing reported yet around the Wayne County Courthouse.
Okay, that was the report I got. Okay.
We'll keep a close eye on it.
And is this the state police, the local police?
It's most likely local police around the home. There could be some state police as well. So.
All right. Well, keep us apprised if something comes up on that, or if we get an update on the story. Either way, please bring it in. I appreciate it. And you've got a newscast to do very shortly, so I'll let you get out of here and move on. Mother Teresa, St. Teresa for June 12th. She says to students, I pray that all those serving people or young people who have graduated do not carry just a piece of paper with them, but that they carry with them love, peace, and joy. That they become the sunshine of God's love to our people, the hope of eternal happiness, and the burning flame of love wherever they go. That they become carriers of God's love, that they be able to give what they have received. For they have received not to keep, but to share. Amazing message to our graduates for June 12th by the great St. Teresa. Headed up towards the top of the hour, I just want to mention you. Guys, there are two reasons to go to Picardo's. Okay? Dads and grads. Now, speaking just for me as a dad, I got everything I want. I don't want anything more. Well, unless it's from Picardo's. I pass that on to my 5 kids. But dads and grads deserve something from Picardo Jewelers. And let's just talk about the watches. Raymond Weil, Breitling, Oris, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, Swiss Army, Seiko. Ball watches, that's a new line. Tory Burch, Victorinox, Bulova, G-Shock, and more. It's an amazing store. It's a great experience. And every price point, every bit of level of affordability is there for you at Picardo's. Downtown Scranton, Jefferson Avenue and Spruce Street, catty corner from the Radisson Hotel. We'll take a break for the news with Brian Hughes and then be back. Great good morning, everyone. 10:05 a.m. here in the great Northeast. That's what my Cordaro Jewelers watch says. This beautiful Friday, June 12th, the year of our Lord 2026 here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we salute today, having lost them this year, but we pay tribute thanks to John. Michael Gilhooly, Jessup, formerly of Scranton, William Llewellyn, Peckville, Louis Abram, Berwick, and Edwin Allegar, Benton, Jameson City, and finally, Joseph Roblewski. He was from Ashley. And so, with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that because of our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense, we will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you who hearken here. Reminder, you can catch our live stream on YouTube. You go to YouTube and go Bob Cordaro Show on Bob Cordaro Show and WILK, and you'll find me. I've got my Rochester football shirt on, a gray Rochester football shirt on. It'll say live also. And all that is brought to you by our friends at Roach Supply, who are the premier bath and kitchen suppliers in Northeast Pennsylvania, celebrating 75 years in business. You know what that means? That means they're great at what they do. That means they're honest to deal with. That means they've got the best products, prices, and selection. Visit roachsupply.com today, or stop in at Chapman Supply if you're down here, or stop in at Roach Supply up in Honesdale. Chapman Supply in South Abington Township. It's ROCHE, roachsupply.com. And this hour of the program brought to you by our friend Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor at Sotheby's International, Naples, Florida. She is your trusted guide to Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. And you could find her either through Sotheby's International Realty in Naples. I found her right quick on the website. Or go to her own website, Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com, or any social media. She's on all of them. And she'll give you the scoop. She's guided friends of mine and listeners of this program. She's guided them already to purchase homes. Great stuff. Purchase properties. And we love having her on. We learn a lot. We learn a real lot from her. Yeah. What does anybody feel? Do we think this is the real thing? This ceasefire with a deal to open the Strait of Hormuz, all of that. Do we think it's real? Color me a skeptic right now. I just am. I don't think there is any planet upon which you could trust even this third and fourth tier of Iranian leadership. They've got too much at stake, and I mean, they've got a difficult calculus. Look, we want to keep control. We want to keep a chokehold on the Iranian citizenry, and it's a big, pretty well-educated country. So it's hard to do when we are lying to them about everything, when we are stealing money hand over fist. That's got to be their calculation. As evil as someone is, as delusional as someone is, they understand their self-interest. And when I say this is specifically the Iranian, not military, but the guard. They own and control the most significant parts of the economy. Now, and this argument could go either way. Number one, as soon as Trump said, we're going to take Carg Island, immediately you had, I guess, this entree to peace, because that is their lifeblood. They control oil. They control the utilities, the IRGC. They control everything that makes an economy go. And if we took their oil away, which we have been doing by and large, they've been sneaking some out. But if we took control and we're willing to put troops on the ground, then you've got something interesting happening. And another thing another part of the analysis, I just don't know that we can abide Iran having the capacity, obviously, of not a nuclear weapon, because they'll use it. That's their intent. That's their purpose, to bring back their 12th imam. It's their form of apocalypse. And they're devoted to bringing it about. But allowing them to have control over the flow of products, including oil, fertilizer, you name it, through the Strait of Hormuz, we've got to eliminate that. By the way, even as a possibility, we can't go through this again with these clowns, because they will assert it. And a lot of economists have said, a lot of good economists, not Krugman idiot types, but real economists have said, for the past 47 years, because of their control of the Strait of Hormuz, or potential control, that we've essentially been paying, oh, by the way, and the Houthis and the Red Sea and all of that, because of what they've been doing over these past 47 years, that in point of fact, there's been a tax and extra costs on oil for the whole world because of Iraq. Now, is that 100%? I think it is. Their threat has been costly to the world economy. We cannot allow them to have that opportunity. And indeed, we have to do what we can to supply forces that oppose the IRGC and the mullahs to take that country back. Very important reminder. The nation of Iran is Persian. They are not Arabic. They're Asian. They do not have simpatico with the Arabs in the region, other than shared Islamic religious faith, which, by the way, is Shia, which is the vast minority everywhere else but Iraq in the Middle East, because the Sunni are preeminent. But in addition to that, the Iranians and the nation of Persia was multicultural. It was multi-religious, strong Christian community, strong Jewish community, very small, but strong Jewish community in Iran prior to the mullahs. It is not naturally an Islamic nation. So all the ingredients are there for people properly supported, properly supplied to take that country back. And if you recall, those of you who've either studied history or lived during it, during the Shah's reign, which was not nearly as horrible as the Muslim cleric's reign, during his reign, they were a bulwark for the United States and a protection for the United States, for the whole Middle East, because of where they're physically located, and against the Soviets. They were a very important ally. We gave them lots of military equipment. So Iran can once again be a positive force for civilization in this world if we get rid of the mullahs, the homicidal, genocidal, apocalyptic animals that run Iran right now. That's our chance. That's a rare opportunity. And because they're so close to the Middle East, of what we think of as the Middle East, the Arabic nations, they're a huge influence into Asia from that region. It's a very important thing we need to do. Trump's done it. Yeah, there was never a good time to do it. But the fact that he did not wait, thank God, he did not wait for political reasons and did it now is to his credit. This pause, I don't agree with at all. We're 8 weeks into this pause now. We should have been bombing them all throughout. Hey, negotiate all you want. We're going to keep hitting you. And I fear that again this weekend. We'll see. We will see. All right. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We're going to take a break. We'll be back after this. I don't think I ever heard this song before. Murph tells us, though, this date, 1971, the Honeycombs had the #1 hit with want ads. And it reads honeycombs, not honeycombs. OMBS. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Hey, let's go to Linda regarding the 250 Festival. Hi, Linda. Doing great. Oh, you warm the cockles of my heart. Thank you so much. And back at you. That's why it is a good show, because of you. Please, please. Where? Oh, wow. Wow. At the Circle Drive-In all day, 9 to what? Yeah. Oh, that is so great. As Johnny Carson would say, I did not know that. This is a great event. And the Circle Drive-In is a great place to go. It doesn't matter if it's for the flea market or any of the events that you guys have there. It is always great. So 9 to 5 tomorrow, all kinds of things happening as only the Circle Drive-In could pull off. And it's in celebration of our 250th year. Thank you, Linda. I'm happy you let us know about this. How nice is that? Well, that's great stuff, Linda. Thank you. All right, appreciate it. All right, hon. Have a great time tomorrow at the Circle Drive-In, 9 to 5. Let's go to Tony from West Pittston. Hi, Tony. Doing great. Yes, they do so much. Yep. How neat. Where? Wow. Wow. Hmm. I've talked about him. Yep. How about that? For whatever programs, yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is this Sunday? How great is that? Vets for vets. And we just did a veteran who he called it his oldest daughter, his 68 Stingray, William Llewellyn. We honored him in the first hour. There's a special I don't know, there's a special vibe about Corvettes, isn't there? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's not there will I will promise you this. There'll be nothing more American happening in this country than vets for vets 12-3 in West Pittston. Nowhere. Tony, thank you. Thank you for having this event. It's good stuff. Really great stuff. All right, my man. Thank you, Tony. You too, brother. You too. Let's go to Jim from Hazleton on the Iran deal. Jim, what do you got, man? I'm doing great. How is Green Bay? You know, I've never been there. I've got to go out there for a Packers game. It's a neat town, right? Neat. Really? Wow. I mean, gas prices have been creeping down in Northeast Pennsylvania, but we've got people don't realize it. We've got the second highest gas tax in the country here. Maybe not. Yeah. They've got plenty to complain about with the idiots running that state. By the weight of it, yeah. Jim, what do you think about the Iran deal? And they're between a rock and a hard place. That is their money, the IRGC. That's their money. I think they're running the country more than the mullahs right now. And that's their money is the oil. And if he goes after infrastructure like water and bridges, that's what they run. So the direct threat and the fear of him going after their assets may have brought them around. I don't know. Take it over. Yep. And that also means that we would be getting the oil money, just like he reported we stole millions of barrels of oil from the Iranians during all this embargo, too. So that was a good little tap on the head. Yep. Yeah. And by the way, because of the amount of oil that they supply to the world markets out of Iran, we'd have almost permanent high gas prices. Yep. Yeah, and Jim, it's the old. We have to go, but Jim, it's the old story. This is going to hurt when the father's going to take the strap to the son. He says, "This is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you." Yeah, and he had to face that. Well, let us hope. Let's hope he's brought them to heel. We're going to find out soon. We'll talk on Monday, maybe, Jim. Huh? All right, man. Thank you. Travel safe. Travel safe. We got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back with our Veterans Tribute and then more, the weather, all of that after this. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group. You want to have fun this weekend? You want to check out something new? Or someplace you've already been? They are great. I'm a repeat visitor. Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. The Far Street Tavern on Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. All three reimagined beautified, cleaned up, just perfect. Great bar restaurants. Watch a game, watch a race, watch the soccer, whatever. And then you got fine dining. No parallel. A Terra 519 downtown Scranton. I'll be checking them out for show this weekend. Greatest in fine dining in the most beautiful setting you could imagine. 519 Linden Street, Scranton. And I'll be dipping down into Sergei's just to see what's going on. I dip down and I go back up. when the young kids come, the really young kids come, I'm like, okay, I've done my thing. And then the Stegmeyer Mansion, incomparable old world flavor. And by the way, that's the Mary Stegmeyer Mansion, great event space, amazing restaurant experience. And right down the street, the Fred Stegmeyer Mansion. If you have anybody coming into the area, it is the best bread and breakfast in the country, bar none. And I'm going to be checking out a movie this weekend, too, by the way. Steven Spielberg has a new one out. I'll be checking it out at the Scranton Art House. So that's Basiliga Hospitality. Joseph Wroblewski. He was 96 when we lost him June 2nd. His family lists this: international president of Lions Club, devoted husband, father, grandfather, funeral director, veteran, humanitarian, community leader. For more than 7 decades, Joseph dedicated his life to service. Service to his family, his community, his profession, and most notably to Lions Club International. Born in Ashley, raised with the values of faith, hard work, compassion, and integrity that would define his character throughout his life. Graduate of Ashley High School, he continued his education at Wilkes College and later earned a degree from Eccles College of Mortuary Science in 1952. Joe honorably served in the United States Army during the Korean War. Upon returning, he established his first funeral home in Ashley in 1954. Went on to establish one in 44 as well. Working alongside his wife, Norma Jean, he served 6 generations of families with dignity, compassion, and professionalism. Oh, he was a lion. And I played for the midget football team, the Dunmore Lions. But he started with the Ashley Lions Club and became head of the International Lions. And by the way, that wasn't all of his service. Board of Directors of the Catholic Youth Center in Wilkes-Barre, president of the Northeastern Heart Association, 55-year member of the American Legion in Sawyerville. He shared nearly 70 years of marriage with his beloved wife, Norma Jean Kozicki Wroblewski. He lost her in 2023. While thousands around the world knew him as a leader, mentor, humanitarian, and friend, his grandchildren knew him simply as Papa. He is survived by his 4 children, 11 grandchildren, 10 great-grandchildren, and a great-great-granddaughter, baby Litz, expected later this year. He's survived by his sister as well. Joe's life was marked by kindness, purpose, generosity, and an abiding belief that each of us has a responsibility to help others. Joseph Wroblewski. Our great veteran this hour, brought to you by our man John Basiliga and the great Basiliga Hospitality Group. I waited for that sound. Our weather brought to you by the AccuWeather gang. And here's the forecast. Today, partly sunny, hot, very humid. Heavy thunderstorm around this afternoon. Thunderstorms can bring flooding, downpours, hail, damaging wind gusts, all that. High 90. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 59. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, very warm, less humid. High of 88, low of 60. Sunday, remaining very warm, clouds and sun. A thunderstorm in spots late in the afternoon. High 88, low 55. So 2 great days to get to Montage And, of course, Vets for Vets and the Circle Drive-In tomorrow. Vets for Vets Sunday. Monday, not as warm, lower humidity, sunshine, filtered by passing clouds, 77 degrees, low of 53. Pleasant with clouds on Tuesday. There'll be some sun, high 73, low 52. And that's your weather, brought to you by the gang at Montage Mountain Resort. It's the water park. It's happening every day, all day up there. 80 degrees right at Montage right now. All right. We're back. Ben liked that so much he played it again. We're back. Bob Cordaro with you on the program. And by the way, that is the Drifters. It's worth repeating. Stand by me because it moved up to number 4 this date, Murph tells us. And it was Benny King's first hit. Did not know that. June 12th, 1961. Bob Cordaro with you on the program. So, we're waiting to see. And I've got to admit, somewhat impatiently waiting to see if this is the actual end and if this is a good end. Here's the burden on Trump that nobody else has. And he carries this burden. Nobody else is going to do and take the appropriate steps necessary. They're going to let the spit happen and then react to it. And by the way, Republicans and Democrats, that's how it was. Iran really only became a regional threat, and even more than that, in recent years. But it was completely ignored by the Biden administration. They were just going to put their heads in the sand and deal with it when it became existential. A very overused and, in fact, trite term. But I've got to keep reminding people, if they got a nuclear weapon, their intent, stated intent, was to use it to bring about their version of the apocalypse. It wasn't to have it, not even to threaten. It was to use it. Please remember this. By the way, somebody texts out, went out to Danville, and the whole area out there, gas was only around $3.60 a gallon. Lee says price gouging around here. I don't know. I was told the reason why specific, at least the urban portion of Northeast Pennsylvania, has higher gas prices. I don't remember it in detail, but it has to do with distribution. But we have the highest gas prices in Northeast PA across the state. And the rest of the state still has this onerous, ridiculously high gas tax. I'm happy you pointed that out, though, Lee. By the way, I failed to mention mention it again. This hour brought to you by our friend Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor at Sotheby's International, Naples, Florida. You could reach her by looking her up at the website of Sotheby's International in Naples, or you go right to the source, Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com. That's her own website, TinaMorocco.com. And on top of that, any social media, MURACCO, Tina Morocco. She's the real deal. She's the deal. And I'm telling you, not only because I know her and gotten to know her and her husband very well, knew her husband for, 30 years or something now. But on top of that, people who have gone and dealt with her, based on hearing it on this program, have all thanked me. They've all thanked me. And by the way, on a separate issue, as well, it's time. Time for Bloomberg Money Minute. We'll be back. Murph tells us this date, 1971. The Stones had the number 2 hit with that great tune, Brown Sugar. Jerry Featherby tells me her husband watches and listens to the program every day. So shout out to you. Shout out to you, Mr. Featherby. And thank you for being part of this large, dysfunctional family. We love it. I'm not saying you're dysfunctional. I'm saying I am. By the way, Mark the Shark from Hazleton, he texted this. I've never, or emailed it to me. I've never seen it. He sends me something about birthdays, and I always read them. I don't always read them on the air, but this was from Anne Frank. Anne Frank, and if you're not familiar with her, she's the young lady that was hidden by neighbors, young Jewish lady, and eventually killed by the Nazis. Hidden for years in their attic, lived in their attic. Whole family slaughtered. And we only know about her because years later they found her diaries. Great movie, Diary of Anne Frank. Urge you to watch it at some point. Now, she wrote this, and it's actually stunning. She said, I keep my ideals because in spite of everything. Now, this is a woman living in secrecy in an attic for years. She says, I still believe that people are really good at heart. That's stunning. That is stunning. Could there be that much goodness in one person who's in the midst of and eventually dies at the hand of incredible evil? Evil, the likes of which had not been matched. Well, it was matched by the Communist Chinese and the Soviets, the Soviet communists. It was matched by Pol Pot in Cambodia. It is now matched by the Iranian leadership. So, but wow, that's man, it just knocks you back a step, doesn't it? Somebody texts in, Dear Bob, Anne Frank's father survived. I did not know that. I thought they got to the whole family. Unbelievable. Somebody texts in, not somebody, Bob, Charles from, well, he says, calls me Bob. Charles from Scott Township texted in. Gas prices $3.99 in Penn, Jersey, in Einan next to the McDonald's. How about that? Fascinating. Somebody else, Bob, LTS. The reason, and LTS back at you, the reason gas prices are so high in this area, it's distribution. The fuel trucks can only deliver the fuel on special designated roadways because of the low bridges and weight requirements. Also, sinkholes popping up everywhere. That's the justification by the Department of Transportation. Okay. All right. It is a distribution issue. I know that. And that makes the most sense. By the way, apropos of nothing, but we played it earlier. I did not know, somebody texts in, John Lennon did a version of Stand By Me on his rock and roll album. All right. Neat. Another, Bob, people seem to forget Iran shot down one of our drones. And that's where they got the technology for their drones. I think it was under the Obama administration. It might have been Trump. Might have been Trump. But a very expensive drone flying. I don't point that whether it was under Obama or Trump. This technology for the inexpensive drones is widely available. The sophisticated drones like we have, both land-based and sea-based, I mean, that's another story. Somebody thinks, and Bob, you called Anne Frank a woman. She was 16 years old when she died in the concentration camp, It makes that quote even more profound. Yep. Yeah, it's stunning. That was her reflection after having to hide from savage, sick, twisted animals for years. Yeah, Anne Frank, even greater than I thought. I never saw that quote before. Thank you, Mark. My man Bob B texts in. He says, gas should be 37 cents a gallon for all we do for the world. We've been defending Europe since World War II. I can't disagree with you on that point. I really can't. But I've got to go to the news because it's 11 o'clock on my Mercado Jewelers watch. 11 and change, to be honest. So Brian Hughes has the news. We'll do that and we'll come back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Great good morning, everyone. It's 11:06 a.m. and change. I'm at Cordaro Jewelers Watch. This beautiful Friday, June 12th, year of our Lord 2026 here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we honor today, having lost them this year, but remembering them thanks to John, like Joseph Wroblewski, Ashley, Michael Gilhooly, Jessup and Scranton, William Llewellyn, Peckville, Edwin Allegar, Jameson City, Fishing Creek Township, Benton, and Lewis Abram, Berwick. So, with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle, gaveling back to order this meeting, today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here for the balance of the hour. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. Our man Ben, he's working the board. He's here. Bulldog, well, he had a little health issue, little health scare, and we're rooting for him and praying for him. We need him back. We love him, even though I argue with him all the time. Anyway, thank Fast Eddie, meeting Eddie Rendell for our high gas tax. If he used the money from Obama on the roads and bridges instead of the schools in Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, and Philadelphia, we wouldn't have the highest tax. Eddie. But overall, he was a decent governor, wouldn't you say? I know this. When we were trying to bring the film industry to Northeast Pennsylvania, and Lackawanna County specifically, when I was commissioner, even though I was Republican, he was all over it. And he was incredibly responsive. He was pro-business. He was a normal Democrat. Yeah, he was a scheming philanderer and all that. He's still alive. I should say he was. Scheming philanderer, all that. But a far cry from today's insane Democrat Party. You have to admit that. By the way, somebody said gas today at the Wawa in Wilkes-Barre is $3.92. Well, outside the studio it's $4.29. I gotta start driving for my gas out of principle. I am one of those people. I actually don't care if I'm using more gas to get gas. I want to respect and honor the people who give me the best price. So this is a Wawa in Wilkes-Barre. If you could specify through text, feel free to send me another text to give me more direction. I'm telling you, I'll drive down and get it. I really will. Just out of principle. I've got people I know that have gas stations. If they don't have the price, I don't know what that is about me. I'm not cheap in any other realm of my daily existence. But that, for some reason, has always been a bugaboo for me. Anyway. Somebody says, the disgusting part of all this, the Democrats, where is that? Let's see as the more texts roll in. The Democrats call Trump a Nazi and Hitler, but yet they're 100% behind a guy now that has a Nazi tattoo. Yeah, they are disgusting hypocrites. I could take every one of the Democrat leaders of today, every one of them, and play a passionate argument from them over the opposite of what they argue today. They're sick. They're disgusting. Schumer, I go through all, name them. Somebody says LTS, Spoke with a trucker at Petro Iron Skillet over breakfast. He told me nothing will change on Interstate 81 because it's one of the only lifelines they have to deliver goods and fuel all other roads and bridges regulated with weight restrictions. This is why your 81's always bottlenecked during minor road construction. Gas prices won't go down until 81 is fixed. Okay. Truckers know. I mean, that's their livelihood. Which, by the way, we were going to do Trucker Thursday, and then the Bulldog wasn't feeling well yesterday. So we didn't do Trucker Thursday. But we're going to come back to the truckers. We love them. And they know that that's their living. Somebody texts, Bob, when you have time to look up the lyrics for Brown Sugar, where's the rest of the text? Oh, I'm surprised they're able to play it over the airwaves. Have a great weekend, Bob from Warrior Run. Yeah, I don't know. They might be sanitized lyrics that we're playing, Bob. But you have a point. Somebody says, Bob, didn't Fast Eddie promise to eliminate our property taxes by allowing the casinos into the state with their revenues from gambling? I might be wrong on this. Just saying, says George. No, George, you're right. And by the way, didn't they do the same thing with pot? They do the same thing with pot. By the way, one of the literally idiot trolls, Nazi tattoo. Is he talking about Hegseth, meaning the previous texter? You just want to be stupid. Again, this is the same texter, the 877 guy. 877 guy, you're an idiot. I don't know why you choose to be, but you apparently like it for some inexplicable reason. I don't get it. Hegseth does not have a Nazi tattoo. Your guy has one. So, I don't know about you guys. I'm not really excited about the World Cup. Soccer just doesn't do it for me. Football is a real sport. We invented it. Baseball's a real sport. We invented it. Basketball's a real sport. We invented it, although I cannot watch the NBA. Not interested. It's some of the worst basketball you have ever seen in your life. But at least it's an American invention. It's perverted to this point, but so what? I get why people watch it. There's tremendous athletes, the best athletes in the world. But soccer, and I asked my man, Mark Mayer, calls it ballet with a ball. Now, he was a football player up at Rochester, a really good one, and he also coached and still coaches football. So he's biased, but I'm biased with him. But he calls it ballet with a ball. Not trying to offend anybody, just so you know. Tim Urick says, Big Cat says, soccer is not football. They call it football over there. But, yeah, no, there's no comparison. No comparison with the game. I agree with you, Big Cat. But I like that one, ballet with a ball. In any event. Oh, and the ass, 877, that's what we'll call him, 877 ass. Still not a felon, former prisoner. Okay. That's all you got? You are stupid. You know what? You may actually be stupid. You might actually be stupid. I've tried to give you credit that you're just acting like a fool. You may be a fool. That's all you got. It's insane. And by the way, that is all you got. You've got nothing. Everything you say is a lie or false. And you still stick with it, which means you are a dumbbell. By the way, back to the Wawa with that great gas price. Wawa on Route 309 in Wilkes-Barre Township near Blackman Street is where gas is $3.92. So the Wawa, Route 309, Blackman Street, $3.92. Got to remember that. LOL, truckers know why fuel prices are up. It's not the war or anything, SMH says. Interesting. Oh, Lord. Anyway. Yeah. Big Cat says 877 ass is guilty of felonious remarks. Yeah, that's right. I'm the felon. And by the way, I want to be clear on this. Everybody says ex-con and all. No. I was convicted. I tried to overturn it. I know I got screwed. I know I proved I wasn't guilty. That's besides the point. I'm a convict, not an ex-con. So let's be clear on that. But Big Cat is right. 877 ass is guilty of felonious remarks. By the way, I noted this. Let me think. Let me want to see what day it was. On, June 11th. So yesterday, healthcare providers and advocates gathered in Scranton for the Northeast Regional Maternal Health Coalition Seminar. Paige Cognetti was listed as a featured speaker in the promotional materials. When the attendees arrived, she was nowhere on the agenda. Event organizers said she had a scheduling conflict. Fascinating. Now, please remember this. It's hard to descend to the level of phoniness of Paige Cognetti. Unless you are Josh Shapiro, then you're right on. Unless you're a national Democrat, then you're right there. Or her partner in crime, the crime being bringing the Biden Expressway and Biden Street to Scranton. She's the same mayor who stripped 12 weeks of paid maternity leave from Scranton City employees. She blocked a hospital emergency room expansion while doctors were seeing patients in closets and bathrooms. Yes, she did it before the election, then tried to pretend she was against it or for it, the expansion. She hiked health care costs on Scranton's working families. She opposed $50 billion that Rob Bresnahan got in the big mediocre bill for rural hospitals, which is all of our hospitals in Northeast Pennsylvania, including the ones in Wilkes-Barre and Scranton. Remember that. She was against that $50 billion. All the Democrats were. Now, Rob Bresnahan, what did he do? He brokered the deal, that $50 billion deal that saved 3 Northeast Pennsylvania hospitals. That's Moses Taylor, Commonwealth Health. Saved them. He brokered the deal. She had nothing to do with it. He got more than $3 million from Moses Taylor Hospital's Women's Imaging and Breast Cancer Center. And he crossed party lines. I didn't agree with him on this, by the way, to protect the Affordable Care Act subsidies. So, Paige Cognetti on health care, nightmare, disaster. She wants single payer. She wants left-wing lunacy. What has Obamacare gotten us? It's gotten us where we are. Massive premium increases. Massive increases to copays. Deductibles. Massive. And increased health care costs overall. Far beyond the rate of inflation for the country since Obamacare was passed. It's a disaster. And they want to keep pumping billions and trillions to save it and pretend it's not failing. Yeah, that's Paige Cognetti. In any event, let's take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back. Paul McCartney and Wings, number one hit this date, 1976 with Silly Love Songs. Well, that cut off quick. Bob Cordaro back with you on WILK. Somebody texted in, I wish 877-ASS and all the other lefties could convince us why we should vote Democrat in November and in the future. Why? What is so great about the left? What specific policies? Zero. You talk to any one of them, it's about power. It's about being in charge. It's about controlling other people's lives. That's the motivating factor. It truly is. It's unbelievable. Somebody texted in, Bob, I would like, actually it's my man Greg. I would like to, he says, Bob, LTS, back at you, Greg. I'd like to attend the Vets for Vets event. But I just caught the end of it when you were discussing. Could you tell me when and where it is this weekend? It's in West Pittston, Greg. West Pittston. And I know you could look it up, but West Pittston, 12 to 3 on Sunday. Right, I believe right across the bridge. They mentioned Agolino's, that great restaurant down there. And that's where it is. Bob, LTS, the problem with Paige Cognetti, she's running as a normal Democrat Party centrist. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, veterans issues. Her real agenda is transgender ideology, open borders, men and women's sports, renewable green energy. This is what upsets so many voters. Run on your real agenda and squad ideas. Stop scamming the voters. Paige Cognetti is not a centrist. Biden did the same thing in 2020 and got elected and destroyed the country. 100%. 100%. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Somebody says, please tell me where Trump's health care plan is. We've been promised it for quite some time now, and nothing has materialized. He doesn't have the votes. He doesn't have the control to have the votes. Well, and let me say this. They're fixing up so many messes from the Biden administration. The border, crime, wokeness, transgender insanity. So many messes. The Defense Department, so many messes. He knows he's not going to get the votes. They don't have functional control of the U.S. Senate, and they've only got a 3-vote or so majority in the House. He's not going to get it done. So why let people like you take a shot at his health plan? And, oh, my God, he's going to kill people. Thousands will die. I know exactly what you'd say. You propose anything with you fools. Look at Paige Cognetti pretending and lying disgustingly about Rob Bresnahan. He cut Medicaid and Medicare. By the way, groups supporting her ran commercials that Rob Bresnahan was cutting Medicaid before he was inaugurated. They don't care about the truth. You don't care about the truth one bit. Not one bit. 877-ASK texts in again. He'll do this all day, but or she, whatever. Controlling people's lives is a Democrat policy. So which party is limiting what women do with their own bodies? Let me be clear. A child in the womb is not part of a woman's body. You will not find even a lunatic doctor or biologist to say that. So you're wrong. And by the way, how about the Democrats? How about Joe Biden, whose patience wore thin with people who wouldn't take the shot and had people fired for not taking the shot during COVID? Yeah, controlling people's lives, their thoughts, their speech is Democrat policy, which right now the Democrat Party is controlled by totalitarians. It is controlled by people who want to control other people. That is their main objective. Look at anything they do. Look at these fools down in Luzerne County. Now, there are laws in place regarding everybody's civil rights, state, federal. They pass a rule because they want to fine people for thinking or saying things that they don't agree with. They're the perfect example. Perfect example. Yeah, somebody texting the Democrat Party still hammering and reinforcing Rob Reznik's supposed cut of Medicare. They sent out a mass mailing just the other day. By the way, do you know who cut Medicare? Joe Biden cut Medicare. The Democrats cut Medicare. They took the money from Medicare. They also took it from the Veterans Affairs for illegals. The illegals they were letting swarm into this country. Got a follow-up text. Bob, the Vets for Vets is in Agolino's parking lot, corner of Luzerne and Wyoming Avenue, which is Route 11, West Pittston. So there it is for you, Greg, and anybody else. That sounds fabulous. That sounds great. Like, if I didn't have something to go to, well, no, it's Sunday. I might be able to go. I'm not. I might be able to go. I might be able to go. And the weather's going to be good from 12 to 3. So get down to the Vets for Vets. It's if you like Corvettes, man, 100 and some Corvettes, that would be actually awesome. That would be awesome. So great that they're doing that. Hey, I look up and down, and I see it's past 11:31 on my Picardo Jewelers watch. So we've got to hear from our sponsors. We'll come back with our Veterans Tribute, the weather, and more on the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute this hour. as with every hour, this day as with every day. Brought to you by our man John Basiliga. And it's Friday. We're thinking about the weekend. We're thinking about fun. Well, I naturally turn to Basiliga Hospitality. That group has the best fine dining restaurants you will see anywhere. And I mean anywhere, not just Northeast Pennsylvania. The Stegmeyer Mansion, the Mary Stegmeyer Mansion. It's an event space, yes, but it's one of the finest old world dining experiences you will ever have. A great bar, too. South Franklin Street, Wilkes-Barre. A Terra 519, downtown Scranton. A Terra After Hours, which for those of us who patronize, it'd be like 10 o'clock. A Terra After Hours on Friday and Saturday nights. And happy hour, 4 to 6. $10 drinks, $6 craft beers, $8 wine. Good stuff. And then, of course, 3 bar restaurants that don't have a match. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township, the Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant, and the Far Street Tavern on Far Street, the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. And then, for nightlife, Sergei's, right underneath the Terra, the best nightclub in Pennsylvania and beyond. Guarantee it. And I'll be going to see the movies at the #1 voted Reader's Choice Art House, Scranton Art House, Lackawanna Avenue, Scranton. Great stop. Edwin Allegar. He was 99. He was a Navy veteran. Played pro baseball for the New York Giants. He was from Benton Township, Fishing Creek Township, Jameson City, all of those places. They're the same. He and his wife, Alice, would have celebrated their 70th wedding anniversary this coming Monday. Mr. Allegar attended grade school at the former Bender Town School and then Fishing Creek School. Graduated from Benton High School in 1944. He attended Lehigh University, Clemson, and graduated from Bloomsburg University. He was a dean list guy there in secondary education. He then went into insurance. But before all of that, he faithfully served this country in the U.S. Navy during World War II. Awarded the American Theater Ribbon, the World War II Victory Medal. Losing these guys. Mr. Allegar taught school at Benton High School, 1950 to 1952, and also at Berwick Area High School. He played professional baseball for the New York Giants, Bristol, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Florida, 49 to 53. Later employed by Nationwide Insurance in Butler and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. For 39 years, he was a claims adjuster and later regional human resources manager for Western Pennsylvania until his retirement in 1992. Active member of Christ United Methodist Church, Oriental Lodge of F&AM, Orangeville, Benton VFW. Loved hunting, trout fishing. Surviving, in addition to his wife Alice, his 3 sons, 5 grandchildren, 6 great-grandchildren. Edwin Allegar. Louis Abram. We lost him at age 81. He was a Marine veteran and avid outdoorsman. He was from Berwick. He passed May 27th. Born in Columbia, Mississippi. He was the son of the late Booker T. and Armetta T. Abram. Following his graduation from Marion High School, 1963, he went to Prentice Junior College and then proudly served all of us in the United States Marine Corps. 1973, he wed the love of his life, the former Ella Lee Frederick, with whom he would raise a family and share 34 years of marriage. He was employed by the Fulton Lamp Factory and then AC&F before beginning a career at Berwick Offray that lasted more than 25 years. He retired in 2006. Outdoorsman who enjoyed hunting and fishing. His greatest joy, though, was his family. Surviving Louis Abram are his children, 4 granddaughters, nieces, nephews, other family. preceded in death by his beloved wife, Ella Lee Abram. And preceded in death because there was a Booker Jr. My man Booker around here would know that name and love it. Lewis Abram. Our great veterans this hour brought to you by our man, John Basiliga, and the great Basiliga Hospitality Group. Forecast for Northeast Pennsylvania, all of it brought to you by AccuWeather, but sponsored by our great friends who are there for your summer fun. Montage Mountain Water Park. Today, partly sunny, hot, very humid, heavy thunderstorm, maybe later this afternoon, high of 90. Tonight, partly cloudy, 59. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, very warm, less humid, high of 88. It'll get down to 60 overnight. Sunday, another good day. Remaining very warm, clouds and sun. Thunderstorms in spots late afternoon. High of 88 Sunday, low of 55. So this weekend, great. So is today, by the way, till later this afternoon. Not as warm on Monday. Lower humidity, sunshine, filtered by passing clouds. High is 77, low 53. And they're predicting, for the moment, pleasant with clouds and sun on Tuesday, high 73, low 52. And that is your weather, brought to you by our great gang at Montage Mountain Resort, the water park in full swing, and these days are perfect for it. Montage Mountain, where it's 80 degrees as we speak. This date, 1982. I don't know where he finds this stuff. I think I've heard of Adam Ant before, but it was the number one hit in the UK. Goody Two Shoes. You just got to laugh. By the way, our man, U.S. Representative Rob Bresnahan, he's introduced federal data center legislation to help protect our communities and make sure that the data center decisions are made locally. So good for Rob Bresnahan. Love him. I've never seen, I'm telling you, I worked on Capitol Hill. I studied it even before that and have followed it ever since. So this is nearly 50 years of really watching Congress. I've never seen a first-term congressman have as much impact as Rob Bresnahan. Haven't seen it. Have not seen it. By the way, we don't have history today because the Bulldog's not here, but today, June 12th, 1987, and it was brought out by someone on my Instagram stream, Scrorty. Ronald Reagan gave his famous tear down this wall speech at the Brandenburg Gate in East Germany. He says, General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Reagan. Calling them out right where they live. These people are nuts. The people we're opposing are insane. They don't care about anyone else, believe me. By the way, Rich the Courier tells me he just paid $4.20 at Wawa in Dallas. He called them the price gouging bastards. Well, I don't know that. You don't know what they paid for their next, what they anticipate paying for their next load and what they paid for their last load. And it may vary to Wawa. I don't know. Somebody texts in, cabinet guy texts in. So the trans person tells the Luzerne County Council she was forced to sell her body to survive. The law would help it. No one forces you to do what you do. Lunatics. Yep. And by the way, I repeat this often. Don't take the lunatic portion of any community, trans, whatever, to represent people who are in that group. Don't take them that way. That has to do with blacks like the sick bastards in Texas trying to blame the dead kid for the murderer. Who the murderer was a victim. He exploded the kid's heart. Period. Beyond uncalled for. He's got to go to jail. He may grow up for 18 years that he'll be in prison. I would hope, but man, he's got to be punished. And these insane people are saying that the second twin in Texas needs to die. These are sick people. The people on the left are sick. Absolutely. Somebody takes in LTS, Bob. Just wait until Paige Cognetti debates Bresnahan. She'll be the next Abigail Spangenberger, governor of Virginia. A total clear-thinking centrist. Then flip immediately if she's elected. Yeah, she'll be a squad member. She's dying to be a squad member. Dying to be. She'll be all lunatic left, guaranteed. And just, you should be offended even if you are a lunatic leftist. That she's ashamed of what you believe and what she believes. She's ashamed of it. Ashamed of herself. Think of that. And you're going to vote for her? You got to be out of your mind. And by the way, she's incompetent. I'm suffering under her mayor's office and their insanity. They suck. DPW cops, firemen, pretty good. They're hanging in there despite her. Bloomberg Money Minute, it's 11:50 on my Bacardo's watch. Paul McCartney, Stevie Wonder, the number one hit this date, 1982, Murph tells us, with Ebony and Ivory. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. And let's talk quickly. We mentioned our veterans that we paid tribute today, thanks to John Basiliga and the Basiliga Hospitality Group. Joseph Wroblewski, he was from Ashley. Michael Gilhooly, Jessup, by way of Scranton. I knew Michael. William Llewellyn, Peckville. Louis Abram, he was from Berwick. And then Edwin Allegar, Fishing Creek Township. Our great veterans today. And I something that I don't get to as often as I'd like, but I keep it just in case. But the Bloomsburg Legion, outside the Bloomsburg Legion, the great Bloomsburg Legion, there's a stone, carved stone. And I add to it a little bit, but it says this. What is a veteran? A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve, is someone who at one point in his or her life wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America and its people for an amount of up to and including his or her life. That is honor. And there are way too many people in this country today who no longer understand that fact. Yep. You nail it. Bloomsburg Legion. You got to go there. They've got like a little park with these stone tablets. It's really great. And as we head into the weekend, we got to think. By the way, and my friend Chuck from Carbondale reminds us Sunday is Flag Day. It is also my parents' anniversary. How great is that? Fantastic. By the way, Bob, remember that today is the Feast of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Bishops are dedicating our country to the Sacred Heart today, including Bishop Bambera, in our Jessup and DuPont later today, 5:30 Mass at Sacred Heart Church. Great. That is good stuff. That's right. It is Sacred Heart of Jesus month, is it not? Nice. So we're finishing with one of my favorite songs of all time, Grand Funk Railroad. Murph tells us they recorded this great hit this date, 1973. We're an American band. And as we finish with that, we've got a couple of things we got to do because it's Friday. The Policeman's Prayer. Let's remember our cops. They're out there separating us from savagery. Lord, bless the ones who wear the badge, the ones who walk the beat, protect and keep them safe while they are on the street. As they wait and as they watch, doing good for all, guide their minds and give them strength for each and every call. Ready to put their lives on the line, give them courage each day. Let them know you're always there in each and every way. So bless the ones who wear the badge, protect them from harm. Always keep them safe and in your loving arms. Policeman's Prayer, sent to you by my man and a great cop, Nicky DeSando. Tomorrow Never Comes by Norma Cornett Merrick, the way we like to finish the Friday show. It was found in the obituary of the late great Doreen Gorieb. And we read it to remind everybody, including myself, that you got to reach out. Don't let a day go by. You never know when that person you love or care for or had a spat with ain't going to be there anymore. Tomorrow never comes. If I knew it would be the last time I'd see you walk out the door, I'd give you a hug and kiss and call you back for just one more. If I knew it would be the last time, I would spare an extra minute or two to stop and say I love you instead of assuming you know I do. So just in case tomorrow never comes and today is all I get, I'd like to say how much I love you, and I hope we will never forget. Tomorrow isn't promised to anyone, young or old alike, and today may be the last chance you get to hold your loved one tight. So if you're waiting for tomorrow, why not do it today? For if tomorrow never comes, you'll surely regret the day that you didn't take the time for a smile, a hug, or a kiss, and you were too busy to grant someone what turned out to be their final wish. So hold your loved ones close today and whisper in their ear that you love them very much, and you'll always hold them dear. Take time to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, or it's okay. And if tomorrow never comes, you'll have no regrets about today. Hey, thanks to Tina Morocco, our trusted Florida real estate advisor, specializing in Southwest Florida, and Roach Supply, who brought you the live stream. Guys, we got to go because Sue Henry's coming in. She's bursting in. You have a great weekend. God willing, I'll be with you Monday. Have a good one, guys. Club for Common Sense adjourned.